We prepared a notification automation example and choose the case of overdue invoices for an utility provider. To implement this case, we need to integrate a data source, a database, two notification providers, mail and SMS, and on top of all this, we want to have an user interface. An integration like this will take like 5 working days from an experienced developer using the classic coding approach. But with PROCESIO, we were able to do it in just 1 day with a technical person, but not a developer, and that person is myself. We will import the data from an Excel file that has generic invoicing information, check if there are overdue invoices, and move all the information to a database, in this case a table. For the overdue invoices, we want to notify the customer and to add a new record in the database. A new record with a flag that will tell us that we notified the customer. For the user interface that we want to use on top of PROCESIO, we choose Webflow. In PROCESIO, we have built a process that takes the information from the Excel file, loops through all the records, and based on a defined business rule, it notifies the customer, connects to the Airtable, and moves the data. We will now run the process manually just to test it. Add the entry data and a validation date. Now let's check the email. We should have received 2 notification emails because in our Excel file we have only 2 invoices that are overdue based on our validation date. Okay, now let's run our process from the Webflow user interface. I'm adding my details, a validation date, and the Excel file. Let's check our email and SMS notification. As you can see, I just received an email and an SMS notification on my phone. This was my demo. Now I will pass it to Mihai.
In this example, we have prepared a cross-sell and upsell automation example. We have a case in which we want to extract information about clients from an ERP based on different criteria and to promote the products in our portfolio that they do not have. We're going to make the promotion via email and SMS, and if the client does not have contact information, to raise a ticket in a ticketing platform for the responsible person to fill in the contact information. To implement this automation in a classic coding scenario, it would take 8 working days for an experienced developer. He would have to build the backend, integrations and the business logic. This is without considering other development stages that are normal in this process. By using PROCESIO, we reduce the implementation time to only 1 working day by a technical person, myself. For the ticketing platform, we chose Jira to integrate. Now the fun part. This is how the actual implementation looks like in PROCESIO. Let's see it directly on the platform. As you can see, the process looks simple, and it is simple because this is how we designed PROCESIO, to be simple and as intuitive as possible. Now, let's go to the first action in the process. This action connects to the ERP and gets authorized in order to have permission to extract data about clients from the ERP and perform the rest of the process. This is actually an execution of another process from PROCESIO that deals only with connecting to the ERP. Let us now see the process. I'm going to select it from the list of processes, open it, and as you can see, this is a simple 3-step process. Going back, the next step is to actually extract information about clients from the ERP using different criteria such as name, look only for companies, have active power contracts, active gas contracts, have overdue invoices less than or overdue invoices greater than. Now, having the list of clients, we're going to iterate through the clients and make some actions for each of them. First of all, we're going to format the phone number, and this is done using a simple custom action that we created to showcase the capability. From here, you can use existing custom actions or create new ones. Next, we're going to make some business decisions depending on the goal of the process. If the client has mobile number, it will send an SMS. And if the client has an email address, it will send an email to the client. And if the client does not have contact information, it will create a Jira ticket and send a notification to the responsible person. After the ticket has been created, an email notification is going to be sent containing the ticket web address to the email address configured in the workflow. Most actions can be tested just by filling in test information. Here is an example of testing the email. Now we're going to save the process, validate it, and run the process. It will ask for the input parameters of the process. The input parameters are defined by me in the list of variables, as you can see here. Going back to running the process, I'm going to fill in the input parameters. Remember, this is how you run the process manually from PROCESIO, but you can run this process from any other system or from other visual interfaces as well. In PROCESIO, any process has an API that can be used from external world to trigger it. After I have run the process, I can check to see what happened from here. Also, at any time, I can go to the list of processes and see what happened on all executions of the process, which we call instances. As you can see, our process is running. Now, let's go to the ticketing platform where we have prepared a special board for this demo. Refreshing the page should show the newly created ticket by the PROCESIO workflow that we just executed. In our example, the ticket contains information about the client without contact details and the search term used to filter clients. Also, we should receive an email notification containing information about the ticket created and a web link to the actual ticket. As you can see, it is all in place. Going back to the execution instance of the process, you have information about all inputs and outputs of the process as you have configured it yourself. You can use this information to debug if needed. You can also see a visual representation of the process execution, seeing which are the actions that have executed within your process. If any of the action had problems, you would see it in a red square with a red X, and you would be able to see the error message just by clicking on the action that had problems. Well, that was it from my side. Thank you so much for your attention.